This week on The Number, we go in search of a beautiful British sports car, and along the way, we've got something really cool to look at.
My name is Dennis David, and I own Vintage Motor Car Enterprises. I appraise cars. Sometimes they're big and sometimes they're small, but everyone who calls is always looking for the same thing. They want to know what they have, and they want to know what it's worth. In other words, they're looking for one thing, and that's the number.
So today's car is a really interesting car. I do a lot of these cars, but as I understand it, this one's pretty special. It's a British sports car, and I'm excited about it because I understand the restoration of this car is really top-notch, and it's also got a racing history. And what better car to take out to look at a British sports car than British royalty? So the Rolls I have is a 79 Silver Wraith 2. It's a derivative of the Shadow. They didn't make too many of these cars. What's nice about this car is the way it drives, the way it handles. It's just a great running car. Probably the smoothest running car I've ever had, and it's just a pleasure to drive it, especially to look on the way to look at another British car. On the way though today, we're going to make a pit stop. My good friend Rick, who is a tractor restoration specialist, has just finished a restoration on a really rare tractor, and I can't wait to take a look at it. So as far as anything mechanical, my go-to guy is my good friend Rick Theriol and his partner Jake Hoadley. These guys specialize in restoring International Harvester tractors, and they have been working on a tractor for quite some time now that they just finished. It's a really special tractor, and we're here to take a look at it today. So let's see what they got. Hey guys.
Hey,
What do you got? This is it, huh?
this is it. We're just finishing up our 1950 Farmall Super A demonstrator for a friend of ours who lives up in northern Maine.
How bad was it?
Pretty rough. It was found in a field, and it was an authentic demonstrator that my friend tracked down, and he made sure it was a real demonstrator. And
How do you tell? How do you know it's real?
the serial numbers have to be between a certain amount, the certain numbers for the year 1950.
And those numbers are down here?
Here's a serial number on the tractor, and then Farmall always had date codes on all their castings, and the castings all have to be within a 2-month period, which would have been
From like late 49, early 50.
correct.
So in 1950, International Harvester decided to celebrate their 50th anniversary with what they call demonstrator models on their Farmall tractors. And what they did was they pulled a few of them off the assembly line and they painted them white. These were shipped to the dealers with parts accented in red that showed their innovation and their technology. The funny thing is, when these tractors were sold out of the dealership, they were repainted red, and they just went on to a regular farm life. So some people have actually taken these tractors and bought them, what they thought was an actual regular Farmall, and they start sanding it down and say, wow, this is white, it's a demonstrator model, which really ups the value. Rick restored this one back to its demonstrator colors and just did a magnificent job.
So when we got it, it was all rusty, everything was smashed up and dented. Jake put all new seals in it. We rebuilt the motor. The transmission's been going through.
So let's hear it run.
Okay. Make sure we're in neutral here.
Really does. Really does. Very nice. Nice and slow, huh? Sounds nice, man. Really does. Nice machine.
Thank you. Runs nice and quiet.
I bet you can't wait for it to go and get paid.
Oh, that is the best part. Mission accomplished. Send it off to its owner.
So we're back on the road, and we're on our way to see this car. And as I said, it's a nicely restored car, and can't wait to see it. And here it comes now.
So this TC is owned by Michael Donnelly, who has restored this car, but interestingly enough, his father also owned the car, and that's where we got the car from. His father also restored the car too. This car has been in his family since 1969. His dad actually raced it at several places around the country. But it's owned by Michael now, and it's just a fantastic restoration. Let's take a look. Okay, so what's the reason for determining the value of this car today?
Well, mostly curiosity. You know, it's been restored for a while. I think it's a very nice example, and I know they're going up in value, so I thought I'd see what the value of this particular vehicle is.
What I like about these cars is they're perfect for a Sunday afternoon, two-seater, a little bit of space for some luggage or a picnic basket or something like that. But what's most impressive about these cars is they do like to go. They're a really nice handling car when they're set up well. They're a pretty reliable car when they're set up as well too. And this one's got a lot of really cool things going for it.
Look at that.
Like it.
And that's prepared.
This is crank for the motor,
In case the starter goes.
and it's largely used for timing purposes,
Oh, okay.
ignition timing, but you can start the car with it.
So taking a look at this car was a real eye-opener because you see a lot of these cars, but you just don't see them in this nice a condition. Michael did a great job at the restoration of this car.
It means a lot to us. It's, you know, been in the family for a long time, and should remain there.
One of those ones that's not for sale at any price.
That's right.
Nice.
I'm interested to see its value for a couple of reasons. Number one, you rarely see a super nice concourse restoration as nice as this one is. It's going to be really interesting when we run the numbers what this one comes in at.
So how do we feel about the value?
Well, I feel good about the value. I really learned a lot about your process, and think that this is a very valuable car. They are going up in value, and I'd encourage any collector that's out there considering one to get one.
Mike, listen, I really appreciate bringing the car down today.
Thank you.
Let me run some numbers and things, and we'll get back to you. And I'm sure we'll do well on this car. So in checking around in auction sales on these cars, of course, there's a wide variation depending on the condition of the car. Michael's car is obviously at the top of condition. It's just a spectacular car. Also, there's a wide variation in both the U.S. market and the European market, but a lot of these cars, the nicer ones, you can find for $20,000 or $25,000. This one exceeds that because of its condition. I found several that were selling in the $37,000, $39,000, even in the $46,000 range on Bring a Trailer. So a comfortable value with this car for insured value, for replacement value on this car would have to be at least $45,000.
So this car was interesting to do, as I said, for a bunch of reasons. You just don't see in this nice. It's a great handling car. I love taking a ride in it, the way it handled. It was really everything that this car could be, and I'm very happy that I was able to ride in it. Coming up next week, we are jumping across the pond again for an American classic, so tune in and see what we got.